and I just didn't like the direction my job was going. It was almost like they were just, the more I did, the more they expected. And it's just like, yeah, well, and then there's people, moving up faster than me. But I'm like, dude, I'm hustling. So, I mean, I've always been kind of a person who always wanted to work for myself. And I have a plan, I'm gonna get into, running my own business. And uploading on YouTube, of course. I've always been, off and on YouTube, especially on this channel.
What's going on YouTube? Is your host Bruce GNT back with another video. This one's gonna be about a guy. His name is Chief Keece, and like usual, I put his channel in the description below so you guys can check him out. Give him a little bit of support. So the title of his video is "I just quit my job at 25 years old. I'm risking everything." I saw like the first minute, maybe 45 seconds of this video. I usually always see videos like this on YouTube. I just kind of like look through them and like, oh, this is interesting. His circumstances are a little bit different from the other ones I've seen personally. So I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this one and give a little bit of my input. And there's no shade. There never is any type of shade. Never is any type of, negativity I try to throw at people, because nothing but positivity here. So yeah, we're just going to go over this real quick and we're going to talk about it.
At some point, you just got to take a risk. Literally today, I just quit my job. I was working there for about 13 months, so a little over a year. And for the past few weeks and I literally just quit today, mind you. Today was the day, literally just a few hours ago. But yeah, and I didn't quit the job with like, oh, I have another job in mind. I realized if I want to elevate in my life and get to that next level, I gotta take the risk, man. I'm ready to, be my own boss, work for myself. And this is extremely risky because I'm 25 years old. I have a 2-year-old son who greatly depends on me and his mother. I live in a condo. Rent isn't extremely generous here. It does cost. There's a lot of bills that need to be paid. I have a dog. I have my lady. So it's not the most cheapest situation on the planet. So it is extremely risky. I'm risking everything. I was prepared for the pushback from friends and family, my significant other, anybody who had pushback, but she supports me, and I'm grateful and blessed for that. But I realize, especially as a black male, because I worked at an office job, I worked in a call center, and I busted my ass, man. Like, I did everything that my managers asked of me, and then some. I took on a leadership role there. I mean, I did everything. And one thing I realized is when you're in the industry, like working in an office or stuff like that, anything that's not a labor, break your back, Amazon delivery driver, something like that, I don't know. I just feel like management and people in higher positions always look at you with a yeah, but, because the people in the higher positions, they're all, Caucasian. So and I have nothing against, it is what it is, and I don't want to make this like this type of video, but I just realized, just as an African American male working in that space, there's no winning.
I wanted to let him go on and everything like that. I wanted to get a lot of those thoughts off. And like I said, there's never any shade. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm a blunt person. I can come off kind of rude and mean sometimes. Oh well. But some of the first things I want to say is that it's different when you're quitting, and let's just say you're 25, because I'm 26, and it's just you. You may move back home. You may have to, I don't know, move to like a smaller apartment. Do whatever you got to do, right? That's one thing. But when you involve a child, a significant other, a dog, and you have all these other bills that just piling up, and I'm guessing he has a car and everything like that, that's a whole different ball game. It is. The point I'm trying to make is that you can't take risks when you have when you have one person dependent on you. You can't. Because when you fall, everyone behind you falls. And that's the last thing you need. It's truly the last thing you need. If this is just you, 100% fine. Do whatever you want to do. You could afford to fall time and time again. You can. But the people behind you probably can't afford to fall time and time again. They can't. They really can't. And the reason I say this is because I'm passionate when it comes to children, because children are ones, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't. They're here due to the choices of the parents and whatever decision they decide to make, whether it was a good one or a bad one, whether it was an oopsie or a purposeful decision. That's why they're here. And I think it's up to us, the ones that make them. I don't have any kids, but I'm just saying, it's up to us, the people that make them, to make sure that they have the best that we could afford to them and give them the things that we ourselves weren't able to have when we were growing up. That's the way I look at it. And to speak about, you know, his experience when he was at that job, like I said, I'm not trying to dog him, but you were there for 13 months. What were you expecting? I don't know, maybe because I was in the service and I'm used to doing grunt work, and not literal grunt. I wasn't an 03 or anything like that, but like just grunt work and like keeping your head down and doing. For my military members out there, especially the Marines, we all know that when you're a certain rank, when you're a corporal and below, hell, even a sergeant and below, we're all glorified janitors. We've all had to mop floors, go clean some toilets and everything. We've all had to do that. And nary a thank you. Not one thank you. Because that's just what it is. You got to do what you got to do. The ranking system is different now, but before, I sound so old when I say that, but back before, composite scores, you know what it's like to be a lance for 2 years and some dude get to the unit, all of a sudden he's a corporal because his composite score is like breathing score. He breathes and he gets corporal. And that's the one that you train. You know what that's like. So maybe my mind is a little bit warped when it comes to that, where I'm just like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm still going to do my work because I know no matter what, people are watching and they see that the work I'm doing, but you only did it for 13 months. What were you expecting? There are people out there grinding for years and years and years, and they only get about this far. And not saying that's right, but that's just the name of the game. Especially when he, not saying he wasn't in the corporate world, but he wasn't corporate world in the sense he was at a call center. That's totally different. It's totally different. Maybe my big grief with it is that he has other people that are behind him, depending on him. And if he falls, that's it. You know, and I want to watch a little bit more, but I'm kind of wondering, because I find it weird that you have all that depending on you and then you just quit. And maybe it's because of my mindset. Like I'm doing YouTube right now. I'm not getting paid for it because I'm not monetized. I'm not going to quit even if I did get monetized. I could have 500,000 subscribers. I'm not going to quit my job because the way I grew up, uncertainty is just so unnerving to me that the idea of putting myself in a situation to where I might not have makes me so nervous. Like I can't. I could be making so much money on YouTube and I still gonna be working the job because in my mind I'm like, yeah, this can go like that. To get back to what I was saying before, I kind of wonder if he was fired or if he quit, because I find that weird that you got a girl, you got a kid, you got a dog, you got bills that he himself said is expensive, and then you just quit. So what are you gonna do for money? Like, who is? No shade to him. So now you're gonna give the load to your girl and pause. You're gonna like give the weight to your girl so she can. I don't know. To me, it's just weird. So like, I want to listen more to really get like the full gist of the story, though.
There's always going to be a question mark no matter how good you do, no matter how much you outperform and put up the best stats and show up on time and do everything and lead and hold yourself accountable. You know, anything they ask, you know, overtime, all that. It's always going to be but. You know, and I just didn't like the direction my job was going. It was almost like they were just, the more I did, the more they expected. And it's just like, yeah, well, and then there's people, you know, moving up faster than me. But I'm like, dude, I'm hustling. So, I mean, I've always been kind of a person who always wanted to work for myself. And I have a plan, you know. I'm going to get into, you know, running my own business. And uploading on YouTube, of course. I've always been, you know, off and on YouTube, especially on this channel, off and on for, you know, several years. As you can probably look back, I've experimented with many forms of content. It's just been hard to keep up with, but, you know, I will be uploading quite frequently on this channel, most likely a lot more. Just giving updates and giving my advice and my experiences and my perspective on things, and trying to pass knowledge, as much knowledge as I have through my experiences and through the things I've went through, to you guys. I've worked a lot of jobs, guys. You name it, I've done it. Delivery, warehouse, office, HR, call center, janitor, you name it, pawn shop. Bro, you name it, Walmart. I worked at a freaking Japanese store called Daiso, an Asian store that sold random, Hello Kitty and Sanrio and a whole bunch of other cool stuff there. You name it, I worked at quite a few jobs. So this is being.
So my take on that is on the last part especially. It sounds like you need more technical skills. It sounds like you need to pick up some different type of trade, or maybe go back to schooling. And I know that's something that people keep throwing out there, and I've not talked down about it, but I've criticized when it comes to schooling, because a lot of people end up becoming the eternal student and just going to school consistently thinking, oh, if I get a degree, it's going to get me like more money. Not necessarily. So it might seem kind of rich of me saying that, but yeah, because I'm not downplaying any of those jobs by no means, but it sounds like you did like a lot of those labor intensive jobs, and it sounds like you need something that's going to be more like technical. Maybe you need to pick up a trade, plumbing, electrician. I was driving not too long ago and I saw something about like hiring was it technicians or something? It was at like an auto dealership and everything like that. Maybe you gotta jump into something like that, because they'll teach you on the job. I remember the last time I got my oil change, and I saw it was like a relatively new guy, because he was asking questions and they were like kind of showing him the ropes and everything like that. Maybe you gotta do something like that. And look, I'm not opposed to doing YouTube, because look at me. But with no job, like I can't imagine me doing this and just no job. I can't imagine that. And like I said, I'm not trying to dog him, but I do my job and I come home, boom, right here. That's what I do, just about every day. And even still, I kind of dog myself. I'm just like, dang, I didn't do this. Like, I know, because I know people that actually made it on different media platforms, TikTok and everything like that. It's not easy. It's not. And it's rich coming from me, because I'm pretty sure he's a lot farther than I am, but it is not easy. And to want to get monetized and the whole have your own business. I have a bachelor's in like business administration, everything like that, and I know people are like, oh, that's nothing. You're right, it's not. But one thing I really did is I really delved deep into like the whole business aspect and what it means to run a business. Yeah, that shit ain't sweet. That's not easy. It's really not. When it comes to when you have your own business, you sometimes can go years without paying yourself, because you're pouring everything that you make back into the business, and you're not turning any profit. You're netting zero. A lot of people don't talk about that. When you're your own boss, there's not as much free time as you think you have. You're probably working longer hours than if you had worked for someone else. Especially when you're just starting up too, depending on what it is and what you're trying to bring to the market. Yeah, it is not that easy. Balancing your budget, and if you're trying to go like the real corporate way of like having a business and everything like that, yeah, you better have your numbers logged. You better. Because especially when you start turning a profit too, and you no longer net zero, which is going to be a while. Yeah, because the next thing that comes in is that mafia, that 3-letter agency that they want their money on time too. I ain't gonna say their name. We all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, and then what he was saying earlier about how, no matter how much he did, they wanted more and more. Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's a job. A little bit about how my mind works is that both of my family members, my grandmothers, came from a different country, and they worked hard to get to where they needed to get to. And put it like this, where I am now is where they weren't able to get to because of their circumstances. So who am I to betray that and not work my ass off after these women threw everything to the wayside to come to this country and make something of themselves? That's how I look at it. That's how I see it. And that's why I can never betray that by, being upset that someone requests more than me or having to work extra hours. So that's fine. It doesn't matter. Even if my work doesn't get recognized, I'm not doing it so I can get recognized. I'm doing it because I want to toil and do the work. I got to do what I got to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me being recognized. It's about me putting myself in a position to where, you know what? Let's just say this job isn't panning out for me, which is all fine and dandy. I got the experience and I got the ability to market myself, to push myself to a higher level to where there is no way that anyone can negotiate and say, you know what? I don't think you're worth this. Yeah, right. Yes, I am. And I don't even have to say it. The proof is in the pudding. Look at my resume and look at my technical skills. You know, I don't know. That's just how my mind looks at it. And like I said, I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Part of me is wondering, did he get fired or did he just quit? Because like I said, I find it weird that you would quit and you're in such a precarious situation.
Being my own boss has always been something I've been interested in. Just because, just you get tired of just being devalued and disrespected. And, at some point you got to recognize your value and recognize your worth and recognize your potential. But, potential is one thing, but you actually have to act on it. I'm
going to say something mean. And I've said it to a friend of mine because she was calling me, asking me for advice. She's trying to get her associates and everything like that. And she's really struggling with that. And she can't hold down the job or anything like that. And she was talking about how she wants to get paid and everything. And I said to her what I'm about to say now, and it's kind of mean, but I think it needs to be said for a lot of people. Everyone has value. 100%. Everyone has value. My question is, how can you say you truly have value or you value yourself to such an extent if you haven't really even proven yourself? In my friend's situation, she's just worked she worked a few shady jobs, and then she worked at like a customer service job, and then like she worked a few jobs where she got fired within a week and everything like that. And I told her, I was like, not to be mean, but what value do you have? Your resume is shit. You have no like legit skill set to really pull from to say, hey, look, I deserve to get paid this much. What value do you have? And like I said, I'm really not dogging. I'm really not. But what value do you have? That's the question you need to ask yourself. What skills do you have? How can you market yourself to show that, hey, look, compared to everyone else, I beat them out. They got nothing on me. How can you show that? Where is it? What does the resume look like? I don't know. Like if I was to put him in a situation, where he had to deal with either customers or in a managerial position, right? Is he blowing everybody else out the water, or is he only performing at capacity? So, like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, and what I'm saying is mean a little bit. But what value do you truly have if your repertoire when it comes to jobs isn't really extensive, and you've probably never held a position where delegate tasks to people and lead a team? You know what I'm saying? That's my question. And not to dog anybody that maybe listen to this, anything like that, but I think we need to sit down and be honest with ourselves when we keep talking about, oh, I know my value. You know your own personal value, but when it comes to in this job market, what do you actually bring to the table? What's gonna make anyone look at you and say, I want to hire this person and pay them this amount based off of your job set and your skills? What? Because you have a good attitude? That means nothing. I could find someone else with a good attitude that doubles you with experience and technical skills. I think these are things that people need to think about.
You can't just be scared forever. I'm 25, but when you have a kid, it changes your mindset a bit. I'm 25, but I'm living like I'm 35. I feel like I'm a bit older than, my mindset feels a bit older right now than maybe compared to some other 25-year-olds that don't have kids, because having a kid does change your mindset. But this is what I'm going to do. This is an extreme risk, but I'm going all in, 100%. You got to take risks in life, like my guy on TV, FS1, Colin Coward. You got to take big swings, man, if you want to elevate. And I want to elevate. Just being stagnant, being at the bottom, fighting against all the the stuff, working for a company just to barely get anywhere. I could work for a company for 5, 10, 15 years just to make a couple bucks more. It's a couple bucks more. It's not, what am I doing here? I'm grinding my ass for, instead of spending 40 hours a week at a job, I could use those 40 hours and put into my business, what I want to do, my businesses, into my company, into what I want to grow, instead of benefiting someone else. And this is stuff you've all heard before, but the time is now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna end it off with this. Instead of putting 40 hours in another company or in your job, why not just put it 40 hours into your own business? How about you put 80 hours into it? 40 hours in a job and then 40 hours in your own business. That's what it takes. If you think all it takes is you putting 40 hours at your own business, no, it's gonna take way more than that. It's gonna take way more than that. You put 40 hours in your job, come home, and then put another 40. You know what I'm saying? That's what it takes, especially if you want to make it. And I'm all for taking risks, sure, but when you have so much to lose, because he said himself, he has a kid. Things change when you have a kid. When you have a kid, and like I said, I don't have any children, but one thing I do know is that when you have children, it's no longer about you. It isn't. You can't take big risks like that, especially when you have no cushion. And it sounds like he doesn't have much of a cushion. If you want to jump like that and risk it all, you need to do it by yourself, not when you have people that are relying on you. I don't have children, but I have people that rely on me, and I will never take a risk like that, because when I fall, they all falling behind me. Yeah, there's a different type of mindset you need when it comes to having your own business. And not saying that I have it, but you need to be putting 40 hours at work and then 40 hours into your business. Trust me, there's more than enough time within the week. There is, especially if you really want it. Especially if you got bills to pay. That's one thing I don't negotiate on. My bills will be paid. Non-negotiable. That has to be dealt with. And not to say I have no one to rely on, but I have never asked anyone for money. Never. And not to, pat myself on the back or, big up myself or anything like that, but no. Like I said, look, all the more power to him. Hopefully it works out. Go check out his channel. Give him a like, give him a subscribe. Give him a little bit of confidence, a little bit of reassurance that things are going to get better. But honestly, I can't 100% agree with this. I think he should go back, get some type of job, and do his own business on the side as well. Because the statistics on businesses and their survivability isn't that great. It really isn't. And not to say that that's a deterrent for him to just give up, but I'm just saying it as like a reality. They aren't that great. They don't last long. A lot don't, especially which I think he's going for, which is YouTube. Ooh, yeah, no. YouTube is savage. It's brutal. Very brutal. Especially if you don't have something to bring to the market, which, look, I don't even think I have anything much to bring to the market, but I'm just going to keep trying. Just gonna keep going, bashing my head up against that wall. Is what it is. Yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below. You know what? You could think I'm off. You could think I'm 100% wrong, and he has what it takes, and that he's just gonna be up there. And I hope he does. Honestly, I hope he does, because like I've said before, I'm never one to say I want someone to lose any type of money or be put in a financial situation. No. I don't believe in stuff like that. I want us all to make it. I want us all to get the money together. That's what I want. But yeah, comment down below what you think and how you feel. Let me know if I'm off. And subscribe if you want more. I might do more of these, I quit my job, I got fired, stuff like that, and review it. And we could just talk about it together. But yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys later. Peace.